The one thing you mentioned was don't skip Sheamus versus Kaiser. And the problem that I have had, I haven't had a problem with Kaiser. I've said he's a good worker and he's in great condition and he does the poo poo face and the introduction perfectly. But I said the problem with Kaiser is that he's been presented along with his partner, the Italian guy who I don't know why
Vinci.
yes, Leonardo da Vinci. Why is he's not part of the he's barely through Mussolini. What the that had to be events. Well, they're all part of the same action. But they haven't presented him as a serious wrestler on his own. That's why we couldn't buy him in the tag team matches. That's why great flunky because he's had a chance to shine in that role, but then you can't buy it the other way around. Well, it seems like they're trying to break that booking trend, the new administration, the Levesque era, because this guy, he is good. And you could tell that Sheamus was in on it too, that they wanted to go out and, get this guy over and make him somebody. And, basically, they did a promo with Sheamus where he kind of got him over, or put him over. We're going to see if he's more than just Gunther's announcer. And then as soon as Sheamus comes through the curtain, Kaiser jumps him and starts kicking the shit out of him. And the agents and referees separate it and they go to the break and then they come back on the other side. And they had a stiff back and forth match where I think it was better to do this than normally you would shine the baby face and then the heel would cut him off and get heat where you'd have hope spots, but mostly the heel would be in control and then a comeback, blah, blah, blah. They kept this going back and forth because it was more, I think, important or impactful to have Kaiser constantly on the offense, holding his own, then Sheamus coming back, but then Kaiser stopping him again. That kind of back and forth showed that Kaiser was equal to or competitive with or belonging with a guy that's been the world champion, etc. So, and they just beat the shit out of each other too. Sheamus is, my goddamn, his deathly pallor. Jesus Christ. If you gave him a milk enema, it would make him 3 shades darker. But his chest turned into ground beef from the chops. And again, they kept it fresh with so much back and forth. And Sheamus is selling the leg. At one point, he's not going to let the referee stop it and dares Kaiser to bring it and then make a comeback and more back and forth. And I thought they did a good spot where Kaiser had ripped the knee pad off the bad leg, and then Sheamus hit a knee lift, and with no pads, a boom. It hurt worse. He, foiled himself. And then finally, they did the deal where they Sheamus went for his finish off the buff. What a white noise, how apropos. And Kaiser kicked his legs out from under or whatever and rolled him up 1, 2, 3. And that's what they've needed to make Kaiser his own guy. He can still be valuable, aligned with Gunther, but they can. It was just so far the separation between the two Stooges and Gunther at the start that, especially when there was 2 of them, you couldn't take them seriously. Now, if they put this guy over a little bit and he's still with Gunther because they match so perfectly, you can even get tags out of it and it won't be out of place. What did you think?
I was surprised how much I liked it. And I've never been a big Sheamus fan, but there are matches of his that I've really liked. Actually, the ones with Gunther, I really liked.
Yeah.
This may have been my favorite one. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I really got into this. Maybe because I didn't expect it to be so competitive. I didn't expect it to go as long as it did. I didn't expect Kaiser to get a win. Maybe I should have, but it pulled me in. They got me. And I think a lot of people felt like that. This match was great. And it went a while, and I kind of wanted it to keep going. It was one of those, like you said, it was back and forth. And maybe just the way they paced it and the way they did it, I didn't want it to end. I really enjoyed it.
Well, because they weren't just doing the same thing to cut the other guy off, or they weren't just doing, shit to each other and not selling it. It was back and forth in the good competitive way, in that they kept it fresh, doing different things to stop the other guy's momentum and take over for a second. Oh, shit, boom. And each guy had something that he could sell, or some weak point or whatever. And, especially Sheamus being so much bigger, he was, selling the leg. It's able to take, as Arn Anderson used to say, a 3-legged table is no good to anybody. Except there's stools with 3 legs, but I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
It's going to be interesting, too, because Kaiser's been a flunky. Not the feckless flunky, that was his friend, but he's been a flunky, and they gave him a serious edge here, and it worked. And that's not always an easy thing when you see someone get beat over and over again, all of a sudden trying to make them into something more than they were while kind of keeping the same gimmick. But it may work. It worked here, I thought. It was great.
Well, and think about it. The kid works very hard, and he's got a great look as well as, talent. It tripped over bad booking, that old line. So if they're giving him a chance, LA Knight was the head of a fucking modeling agency. So maybe anything can happen.